Good evening and welcome to Monday, April 21st, Select Board meeting. On my left is Flo Smith, Vince Conti, and on my right, Carla Nuizel, Tor Nelson, I'm Joe Staub. Any additions or changes to the agenda?
I'd like to delete the Class 4 Road Assistance Program for tonight and the Road Protection Ordinance discussion. My computer rebooted and I lost everything I had drafted for it.
Okay.
It's so frustrating.
Nothing else?
Nothing else?
Nothing else. Public comments? And it seems there's no public comments. Moving on to Browns Mills Road, residents' concerns. Ooh.
I'm Carrie Fox. So just to provide a little background on Browns Mill, the road is less than a mile long, with the beginning of the road being classified as Class 3, then changing to Class 4 at the driveway of the 5th property. The Class 3 section has a bridge and 3 culverts. So our concern, so I have some neighbors with us, and the concern of the neighborhood is that the town will decide to change the classification of the whole road to Class 4. There are 4 residential homes plus a camp before the change, and then 7 residential homes after the change. And the concern is that the entire road would be changed and we'd be responsible for maintaining a bridge plus the additional culverts. This change, the concern of this change has increased because there was an incident between a resident and the highway department back in February, where the resident blocked the roadway with some vehicles and wouldn't allow a town employee to leave, and the police were called and whatnot. And then since the incident, the highway department has kind of shortened the area that they have been typically maintaining to kind of avoid that property. So we're kind of here just to voice our concerns and hope that, you don't hold the actions of one household against the rest of us. Of the 3 residents here tonight, we have a combined 85 acres within the town of Berlin, and we're not necessarily prepared to maintain additional infrastructures besides what we're currently doing. We depend on the town's assistance, and we'd like that to continue. In fact, Hope and Cal had come to the select board back in July to talk about upgrading the road from Class 4 to Class 3. We would love to have more involvement rather than less. So we just kind of wanted to come and speak our mind and see what you guys had for thoughts or whatnot.
Thank you.
Before we move on, Vince, I'm getting a chat that there's no audio. So apparently you didn't fix it.
That was the practice round.
No experts.
Click to join audio. No.
Mouse to you.
No.
Recording's paused.
Thank goodness for you, Vince. I wouldn't know where to begin.
Can you hear us, Ron?
Try again.
Can you hear us now?
Now you should. Now it should be working.
Should be working.
Folks on Zoom, can you hear us now?
Well, we can't hear them. They're talking.
They're shaking their head. They're agreeing with you.
No, should be working.
It appears
think it's
they're
on the
able to hear
TV.
us.
Right.
I don't think it's on there, Vince. I think it's up there.
Close that for you.
Darn, we can't meet.
Why does it do that?
Does that sometimes.
Yeah, that's not a good sign either. Keeps flashing on and off.
Technology's not your friend today. No. I have days like that.
Should be.
I was gonna say, it's
If
gonna
you
be
can
back-
hear us, do like the raise hand thingy.
You can hear?
Yeah, it's just we're not getting,
They're not getting
Theirs.
us. We're
So
not getting the ability to hear them.
Is that muted? Does it typically come?
one here?
Does it typically come when people talk? Does it typically come through that?
Correct. Yeah.
Is it that potentially muted?
Shouldn't be, well, if it's muted, it'll turn red.
Yeah, I think it is.
This was loose before, but we fixed that once. I tell you.
Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Appreciate it.
We've probably all been right here.
so it's unfortunate we're not gonna be able to take comments or questions from outside, but they can hear the meeting. Yes, and we are being recorded, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'd say if you have a question, you have to use the chat box.
And we will monitor that and be able to answer your questions that way.
Well, don't be so optimistic, Flo.
I'm certain of it.
We will try to answer your questions. I'm just teasing.
Fair enough.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't know the Pine Hill Drive issue was on the agenda for tonight or not. You were here at the last meeting, and you said you'd supply a response to us tonight on the 21st, so that's why many of us are here.
That would have been probably under the road protection ordinance. The Pine Hill.
No, that would have been something separate. We don't have Pine Hill on the agenda for tonight.
At the last meeting, you said you would give us an answer on the 21st.
So what's the board's decision on that?
To clear that up, it's a matter of putting the material back in the road without the vegetation, and we would grade it back into the road. Is that what we kind of decide? In a
I think
nutshell.
so, yeah.
That was the crux of what we discussed as a
Yeah.
potential option. And I think we left it at the last board meeting that with further discussion with Tim, we would come to a decision tonight. So what Mr. Spencer said, that's accurate.
Right.
It's just a matter of having that discussion. And I don't think they spoke up during public comment just because the belief was that it would be
Yeah.
within one of these, but we took those off the agenda. So I think it would be good to have that discussion.
Yeah.
So does that sound reasonable?
Tim, can we hear from you?
Um,
Well, it's- so
we're
if,
good now.
if the material goes back into the road with the removal of as much vegetation as feasible, is that, I mean, I think that's a reasonable compromise in this situation, considering the extent of the debris that's on the property and where else are they supposed to put it? So,
And then I would add in the grading in, because you do a fantastic job with the grading, you and your staff. And then it could be graded after that fact, if that's amenable.
I mean, it's really not up to me, I guess it's up to you guys, but, I mean, I've had a discussion with a few of the board members, and, I mean, there's no, if you let one do it, you have to let everybody do it, and everybody's definition of a little bit and a lot of bit are different,
well,
so,
perhaps you monitor and bring us back information if this needs to be addressed? Is that,
well, it's kind of where we'd gone, I mean, we're gonna get way further into depth with this ordinance later in the evening with this whole discussion, but, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think we just need to take each one case by case for now, and to your point, Tim, until we get the ordinance, if that's the way it ends up going, finalized, and go from there, but we need to wrap this one up tonight for these folks.
It's a low volume road, it's a residential, it's not like it's high, high
If
traffic.
it's going in, anything's
Yeah.
going down in any
Right.
river or
Yeah.
anywhere else.
So,
on that aspect, that's kind of where the problem comes in with the vegetation, is because on a normal road, the traffic will kill the grass. On a road like Pine Hill, the grass will resprout and you'll get grass in the road. Because low traffic, cul-de-sac, technically means a circle, everybody kind of stays in the middle of the road, so. Again,
So we
the
could
ultimate
use-
decision is up to the board.
how often does that road get graded?
Twice a year, maybe three, depending on weather and all. It usually gets spring, midsummer, and just before winter.
I think one of the beneficial aspects to our discussion about what to do and what our resolution will be is that the residents are not asking us to go and fix it, or you folks to bring equipment like you did one other time where it cost $1,000 for that. They're willing to do it themselves. They just want the permission to be able to put it in the road. And then we all discussed maybe that one option is to then grade it in, and then, like you said, Vince, to have the minimal vegetation to the extent that we can.
I mean, I think it sounds as though this has been happening, and so it seems as though it couldn't have been causing huge problems if it's been happening for years and years, so.
Well, we just had to go over there 2 years ago, maybe 3 at this point with the floods,
Yeah,
and take the edge of the road off because the grass and the road was narrowing up in spots, ditched, and then resurface that whole road.
I have a comment.
Yes.
Can I comment? So, as a resident up there, the dry grass that has gotten into the road doesn't cause the grass to grow on the road. It's the lawns that
Creep.
move out
They creep in.
into the road. I just want to make that point clear.
Right.
Thank you.
I feel your dirt roads they're gonna creep in anyway, shoulders are gonna build over the course of time. You're going to be doing, somewhat regular maintenance on shoulders and road and ditches. I mean, it's,
yeah. I would just say that, I agree that that's what we should do, and I think if things have concerns that you want to bring to us on any particular road where this is happening, you should come, you can bring that to tour or the town administrator or to the board.
And I think one of the benefits to add on with what you just said is that basically, and I lost my train of thought to an extent.
Oh, that happens.
Oh, it does happen a lot after today for sure. But basically, we wanted to make the decision tonight mainly because the weather hasn't been conducive. There wasn't a real urgency to make the decision before tonight, but the weather's going to get better and residents are going to want to mow their lawns. And the debris right now will not allow for that until they have the option to do something. to make it all better.
So to move forward, we're gonna have a motion, Vince?
Sure. I'll make a motion, we allow the residents of Pine Hill Drive to put the material back into the road, minimizing the vegetation as much as possible this year, and we move forward. It's a townwide issue, and go on a case-by-case basis as Tim sees fit, brings it to our attention going forward.
That's a long motion. Is there a second?
So, sorry, I rambled on in the second part, but
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all. That was well stated.
There.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming, being here.
So back to Browns Mills Road.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you
Thanks
for your patience.
Of course.
So,
Let's-
like she said, the issue started in February with the incident. So my instructions to Tim at that time was that you don't go past the bridge, or where the 90-degree turn. There were Browns Mill Road extension.
Yeah.
Turns into Browns Mill Road.
So they're gonna
Because,
go across the bridge and not take that?
just go past the bridge, and then right there, where the 90-degree turn is, stop, turn around and go back. So from basically from the bridge down to and we have in our records that it's private road at that point, it's not class 4. We don't have any record of it being a class 4 on that point.
Oh, okay. I had been emailing back and forth with Rachel, and she had mentioned that it was class 4, so
Okay. And the problem is that when you go past there, the turnaround point that the highway department's using is not at that property. They have to continue across that property to the next property where the turnaround point is.
Okay.
And that first property is where the incident occurred. And don't want to inflame the situation by, continually going past his property when he clearly doesn't want it. State statute is on our side for the safety consideration of municipal employees. We do not have to perform winter maintenance on a class 3 road. Now, if we're going to permanently do that, there is a process we have to follow, which is very similar to the process we would have to follow to reclassify it down to a class 4 or even throw it up altogether. And that would involve a public hearing and notifying the residents along the road and site visit and all that. So,
Here's my bridge. That's the
Yep.
first. And that's
Yeah.
where the incident was?
correct.
And the rest of this is how much of that is class 3?
Well,
No, no.
private.
That's all private?
Right.
Okay.
The right
Private
here,
after the driveway where the incident occurred.
Right.
Okay.
right after the L in Mill Road,
Okay.
you see the little yellow line, that's
Yep.
where it turns private.
Okay.
So this is, the private is that way? Or the
Starts right here,
and goes this way?
correct.
Okay, I just wasn't sure which, I've never been on that road, believe it or not. I've lived here my whole life.
It's just us back there.
it's not very exciting. You're not really missing anything.
Yeah, visit anytime.
Yeah. Go to the end, that's where we all live.
I was out there Sunday.
Oh,
That's nice.
yeah,
No,
Awesome.
fishing trips.
yeah.
That's nice.
Okay.
And the section is about 400 feet from the bridge to the
Right, I mean, right.
to the private road section.
Okay.
And what's the condition of the road now?
Well, I mean, at one time, you guys used to grade up over the knoll and that stretch up through there, which you had issues with him at that time when you were grading, so that stopped. And now that you've had issues with him again as far as plowing, that's stopped. So it's like, I mean, one guy is like controlling what's going on in that whole section, as far as maintenance of the road, as far as that private section goes. You know, it's just.
Can I add something in here too, just from a legal perspective? I think this gentleman's probably gonna make an argument, and maybe successfully, that because the road is private, he has a right to kind of determine who goes down that road and not. And I'm not making a claim of who's right or wrong, I'm just saying this kind of complicates things even more, that if he's successful in that venue, that the road is private, therefore he didn't commit disorderly conduct, and he can kind of be the gatekeeper of who goes down that road, and that's gonna complicate things for the town.
That's completely understandable. What I would say is, we have this 400-meter section of road that we're talking specifically about, right? That needs to be maintained by someone. If he is further emboldened by the fact that the town has now completely abandoned that section, we're still responsible for that. And we're worried that there's gonna be even further confrontation with the private citizens who are now trying to maintain this road that he knows the town owns. And we're worried that there's gonna be potentially violence from him or something along those lines, because he has now seen that the town has abandoned us at the end of the road, and now he knows we certainly aren't in charge of that section. So I think that's one of our primary concerns, along with the fact that we lost one of those culverts on that section during the flood, which was repaired, as you guys know. We're seriously concerned that if that were to happen again, that we would not have the means to repair not only the stuff that happens in our private section, of which we had about a $10,000 bill, but also another culvert, and that's the only entrance exit to that road for 8 houses past that section, so
Yeah.
we would literally be stranded on the road at that point.
We already don't feel safe walking down the road. At least we just speaking for our household, we don't take walks on our own road for the reason of that household.
Yeah, he kind of harasses anybody that he wants to.
Yeah.
Do we have a turnaround spot at the end of our class 3 road?
No, but we have to go out there and turn around.
Do you guys have a road agreement?
No.
And there's how
hard to
many?
establish.
Well, now, yeah. Is there, how many houses did you say? How many
About
households?
eight. Yeah.
Probably only, yeah.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but do you have any thoughts or ideas for the residents, Chief Pop Brand, in terms of,
Sadly, I don't.
No, I mean,
in the situation of the safety aspect? I was just curious if there's anything in perhaps that they could do.
I mean, I would encourage people to call us if they're having. But if he stands on the edge of his yard.
What was that?
Kind of yells at you.
No cell phone service.
We're a little bit limited by his First Amendment
right,
speech.
right, and I had the conversation with, not necessarily you, but, a Berlin police officer about that, and that's, I mean, you can't go by his house without him either bouldering, you know, hollering something at you, or giving you the finger, or it's like constant.
The dog.
And the dog,
Is this the residence with all the cars?
yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
yeah,
And Hope
I was
was
up there
just saying
Sunday.
when they're
Yeah.
walking, there's no cell service, so that's one of their
yeah,
yeah.
difficult
We
scenarios.
couldn't call the cops if we needed help.
yeah, I mean, it's like,
So what, has it been, is there any way to change it from a private road to something else, or is that just set in stone once it's?
Well, it'd have to be brought up to
Process.
class
Oh.
3
Oh.
standards.
Oh, okay.
We did recently spend a lot of money to have some material brought in this year and last year on the spots that we believe maybe should have been town maintained.
And we'd be curious about specifics as far as, the road.
So,
um,
I don't wanna rain on anybody's parade, but you guys are looking at over $100,000.
Yeah.
Closer
That's
to
what we
the
assumed.
$200,000 range
Yeah.
at minimum.
Yeah.
To bring that road anywhere near class 3 standards. It's narrow, improper culverts. And then the other part is it needs to be deeded by all property owners.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
We just can't upgrade it, I mean, violate the takings clause of the Constitution.
So with that being said, I mean, so obviously that's off the agenda, I mean, off the board. So with it being a private road, it sounds like it's gonna stay that way, so you don't necessarily need to maintain a private road.
Correct.
So sounds like that's the way it's gonna stand then.
Yeah, I live on a private road, and there's 4 people on there.
Yeah.
And I don't have an agreement either, a maintenance agreement.
Yeah.
You
So
don't?
I take care of the summer months, they take care of the winter months. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But there's a turnaround spot in there.
so I understand, and to bring that, I would never be able to bring my private road up to
Yeah.
standards.
Yeah.
Much shorter than yours.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean,
Also, this is by far the first incident we've had with this gentleman.
not by far. It's not the first instance.
No,
Oh, no, that's what I'm
We've
saying,
had-
yeah. Oh, no, multiple, I totally
We've
agree,
had
yeah.
a laundry list of
Oh, yeah,
problems
Yeah.
throughout the years.
yeah, well, that, again, like I
Different
said,
crews and-
you guys used to grade down through there and you're not doing that, yeah. Oh, yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
he goes in spurts. He won't harass us for months on end, and then it's every time we're there.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a question. You cited that, there's a clause, I forget, sorry, the correct terminology, that if there's a danger posed that you guys don't have to maintain the class 3, or do regular maintenance work, I believe is the term you used. What about in the instance of if another flood happens this summer and that same culvert just before his property were to wash away? Would the town replace that on the class 3 section?
Or,
I would say we'd be obligated.
I would say we probably would. And this happened towards the end of the winter. You know, we didn't have any large
I understand.
snowfalls
Right, right,
afterwards.
right,
And-
right.
No, I
And if there
understand.
was,
Yeah.
Tim and I would have had a discussion,
Of course,
we go
yeah.
ahead and try to risk it going down there. But luckily or unluckily, we don't really have, any heavy snowfalls afterwards, so that never came up.
Of course.
I mean, my intent was not to make it an absolute, never go down there again.
Okay.
But at the same time,
Right.
you need to know, we need to know, what the expectations are and everything else, so.
And if your employees are getting harassed, I mean, that's not fair to, force the situation or.
I'm gonna err on the side of protecting my employees.
Exactly.
he's a big guy. And Bob is a little
I
guy.
think I got
And we
40
saw how much
pounds
that
on
helped
Bob,
us.
so I'm like, if it's gonna be you or me, I'm kind of feeling like maybe the guy in the plow.
I was the one
Yeah.
that was involved in that incident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I see you have a victim's advocate now.
I do.
Yes.
It's not funny, actually, but. Well, you guys are in a tough
Okay.
spot.
And we appreciate you coming to us and being
you for
open
doing this, yeah.
and
Thank you for
sharing.
I appreciate that, it's nice to at least know more about
For sure,
how
yeah.
it's set up and what it means.
Does, you probably haven't been down there for a while. So you were yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So road needs grading in this section, or?
It doesn't now because they just put stone in it.
You put a bunch
We
of-
paid to
Okay.
put the stone in.
You put a bunch of stone down there.
Yeah, it doesn't now. It did before we put stone in it.
In
Yeah.
the private section,
Not
right?
first.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
put it in the private, yeah.
Yeah,
In
up
front of us.
over the hill.
Yeah, yeah.
What about the class
And-
3 portion though? Does that need grading?
Well, The gentleman in the very last house, he has
What?
a
Yeah,
residential tractor, and he went around and played around and smoothed it out. a
The
little
class
bit,
3
but
before,
it-
the class 3
it won't
before the
last
bridge
for
needs
long.
grading. Right,
Yeah.
before the bridge, yes. That does need grading, yeah.
Past the winter, I mean, they're.
Past, just past winters.
Okay.
Yeah, that section does, yeah. Yeah.
And we probably shouldn't have him grading with his residential tractor on a class 3 road.
No, probably
Right,
not.
and again, you know, he gets
I'm just saying
harassed
it.
when
Yeah.
he's out there, and
Sure he does. Sure he does.
No, that's sort of our impasse.
Need a police escort for the
There
grader
isn't
now.
gonna be any work done on it, then we still have to get out of it, and so we end up doing work on the class 3 section anyway.
Well, I mean, it didn't solve the problem last
Yeah,
time.
not if you're down there at 4 in the morning,
Well, no. But
but possibly, yeah, we could discuss that.
it didn't, a police officer did not solve the problem. He escalated it
Oh, yeah,
quickly.
oh, yeah.
But,
But to keep you safe, if you.
well, you know what I mean? I'm not overly worried about my own safety, but these day and age, you never really know what anybody does. And
Right.
he seems to escalate on a fairly quick scale.
Yeah.
But
It's not good.
Want
No.
you or any of your employees to be in a situation where, even though you're trying not to,
yeah,
that he just pushes buttons and then there's some other
Yeah.
confrontation that the town is then responsible for.
yeah.
Yeah, that's extremely reasonable. I think then the question then becomes, well, this needs to be plowed, it needs to be graded. So if the town is not gonna do that for safety reasons, then now the private citizens on the road have to do that, who I think, if he's willing to go that far with somebody in, you know, a vehicle with a badge, what's he gonna do to us? So is that it's a good solution for the town, it's not a good solution for the residents of the town. It sounds like obviously you guys made a reasonable decision end of the season to not plow. Understood. Is it safe to assume that when winter begins at the end of this year that the road will be plowed and maintained in that section? Up through the section 3, the end of the or grade 3, class 3?
I'm willing to give it a try. I mean, I won't be in my position then, but,
You mean, I don't wanna stop doing it because it's,
Understood, yeah.
but you mean on the same scale?
I guess I'm just saying, should we begin contingency planning at this point for next winter? That's not gonna, that part of the
We're
town's
gonna
road is not gonna be
maintain, so
maintained.
regardless of what happens, I guess I should say, is we will maintain out to at least the bridge. And then we'll feel the summer out and see
So,
where he goes.
I mean, come wintertime,
We gotta figure
what
this
would you do with the
We
snow
do.
going across the bridge? Would you just push it up there on the hill?
The same thing that we, I mean, they push it up the driveway and then I think he was pulling off into the extension,
Yep,
backing up, and we plow that extension,
yep,
and then he goes back across the bridge. So it isn't like you would leave a pile of snow for you guys to clean up,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
So this would mean we'd be plowing, or the town residents would be plowing a class 3 road?
No.
Well, it would mean that,
we'd have
yes.
to.
Huh?
We'd
Yeah,
have
It
we
would
have
mean
to.
that,
You would
yes.
have to.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. 'Cause, I mean,
And
there's,
that's-
we've got
It's not.
We can't do
sedans
that.
No,
that,
Now you gotta figure this out.
we definitely
Yeah.
have to figure this out. It's huge.
More to come.
Definitely more to come.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Thank you very much
appreciate you
for
guys
being
hearing
here,
it.
being
Yeah.
open,
Yeah.
sharing.
should I follow up with anyone in a bit, or should we come back to another meeting, or what next steps?
Every month, poke the bear.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, with emails.
and if in the meantime, something, I don't want to say catastrophic, but something major happens on the road that it needs work, attention that, we won't normally see, because of our limited travels down that road, you know, bring it to my attention, please.
Okay, yep, will do.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
No, it's,
Appreciate your time. Thank you
Sorry.
so much.
no, I can definitely think of one thing that would solve all the problems. I definitely won't say it right in front of you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
we have an item somewhere on here about the Fast Squad license.
okay, so the
And
fire
I heard
department
somebody
merged
beeping
fast
a lot, so I don't know if he wants to move it up a little bit.
We could do that.
You're welcome to come right up.
Hello.
Hello. Good evening.
Matthew Romeo, for those of you who can't imagine. I think I know you, sir, but I think everybody else in the room knows me. So this is another little milepost in the fire department transition to becoming a town entity. We are currently licensed by the state of Vermont as a FAST Squad, which is an ambulance service without an ambulance. And the assumption is that the town wishes us to continue with that post July 1. In order to do that, we have to go through
But thank you.
we have to go through a relicensing with the state. It's largely pro forma. Everyone in the chain of this understands, yeah, we just gotta do the paperwork. It requires a couple of interim steps. We have to post a notice in the newspaper, and we have to re-execute operational letters of agreement, which that's a fancy term for how us and the transporting ambulance services get along. You know, of course, Northfield Ambulance covers a portion of the town, Berrytown covers the rest of it. Those, if you have the operational letter of agreement, I'll tell you, those come straight from the state. I think there was probably a few stylistic changes here and there, and we added a little bit about the transporting service taking care of disposable items if we use them. Just kind of for the back of your mind, we're running right now, or we're dispatched right now, somewhere north of 400 calls a year that are straight medical calls. 2022 was the big year, of course, with COVID, and we went over 600 that year. So we don't make all of them by no means. Oftentimes when the calls are dispatched, we're one of the if you were paying attention to the communications study the Department of Public Safety did, they called out something called a double transfer. So 911 call comes in. For us, especially if it's a motor vehicle accident, it ends up being a triple transfer, which is, we're one of the rarities with that. They have to go to Lamoille to dispatch the ambulance, to Montpelier to dispatch the fast squad and fire department, and to the state police to dispatch the police department. So that's something that's called out. Oftentimes there's a little bit of delay. Sometimes we do miss calls that way, but I think it's a valuable asset to the town and to the department. This is one of two places where the department has standing agreements with outside agencies. The other is in our role with the state hazmat team. But I think that, us having a medical response capability is important, and I think we should continue it, and it's in the budget.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to answer any questions. I would take just a moment and encourage you at some point in time to set a chunk of time aside for us to tell you what we do. I know y'all know a lot about what we do, but it would be good to come in and just spend some time and run through our operations, because as of July 1, y'all can be responsible for them. So it would help to have a bigger picture about the things we do and the things we don't.
Sounds good. Do we have fire
Thank you.
department?
I'm sorry?
Can we do it at the fire
I
department?
think that'd be a good idea.
It's an
Yeah.
excellent idea, absolutely.
Sure.
So you're gonna do one of these agreements with Northfield as well?
So we have those in effect right now with Northfield and Berrytown, and we'll re-execute those with the Berlin Volunteer Fire Department, an entity of the town of Berlin.
Sounds good.
And the ones so matter of fact, we've already got the one back from Northfield.
Okay.
The way I literally took the ones that because we just went through relicensure. I took the ones we did and I changed the dates and sent them back out. Because no reason to change what isn't broken right now.
That's right.
Makes sense.
But these will be redone for July 1st, again.
Well, so once, as part of the
Yeah,
relicensing
okay,
package.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying, I've already
Great.
got the one back for the
Oh,
packet
and
from
it was
Northfield.
changed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Good
So,
job.
We're trying to, so there's a timing issue, because it has to be, and we've taken care of some of the local stuff, but we have to post it in the paper, and then there has to be X number of days behind it. And all of a sudden, we're getting real close to July 1, and it still has to go to the State Board of Health
Yeah,
and be
understood.
turned around. So as long as, I don't know if you have to have a motion tonight or what, but I think we have everything ready to go, laid out we've got the announcements laid out and everything else, so.
I mean,
I could think the only motion, if there was to be one, would be would the select board or the town want to continue with the Berlin Fast Squad?
I will make that motion.
I'll second it, that we continue with the Berlin Fast.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Fast Squad continue as an entity of the fire department or sub,
Yeah.
I'm about to get complicated, channel events.
Is there,
Thanks.
you want to reword it, or is there any more discussion? If there's no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And we'll set up a meeting at the fire station.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a
Thank you,
tour. No pun intended.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
And talk about what you do.
May I drop my comments on the ordinance drafts before I go? It will be brief.
Yeah, which ordinance?
The reimbursement and the fire, I would suggest you marinate on them, at least for another meeting. I think we have some.
Oh, the fire,
yeah.
oh, the alarm
We have
ordinance?
some,
Oh, okay.
Additions?
additions and changes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And-
Thanks for letting
and
us
I think
know.
there probably needs to be some thought about how like the mechanism of how all that happens. So,
Good, thank you.
Thank you very much.
all right. May the odds be ever in your favor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
And also with you.
I did Boston today, and I didn't even know it was Marathon Monday.
Oh, yeah.
So moving on, capital improvement plan update.
Oh, Carl.
Hey, Carl.
Ron's online.
Even though he can't speak. Thank
Chief.
you.
Hey, Chief.
Have a good evening.
So, yes, Ron Rogenski is on attending the meeting with us tonight. He's the owner of Stone Shore Municipal Consulting that has the contract for your capital improvement plan. So you're gonna have to listen to me tonight since he can't help to address you. I do want to thank you for your time as we're near the end of this project. We're going to be asking you a few questions and asking you to do some work on this too. I also thank you for your time tonight. I know you have a long agenda and we're already behind schedule, so we'll try to keep this quick. So just quickly review, you may remember from a previous meeting that we did meet with the the relevant boards, like the Economic Development Committee and the Rec Board and Planning Commission. We met with the departments heads and did tours. We collected information. Ron took photographs of the assets that we were shown. We've done other work to collect information, and department heads and the boards have been very responsive, very helpful. There's a lot of enthusiasm about you undertaking this project. We also prepared road plans, a 5-year road paving program, and a plan for your gravel road work. So we are at the point now of, as you know, putting together some drafts of the plan. And so we're at this point looking for some feedback to help us complete that. We did meet with the Planning Commission a few weeks ago, and the Planning Commission advised that they would prefer to see the capital improvement plan document sort of organized by department or function. So rather than just have a list of capital projects or purchases just in any no particular order, or in order of type of project or purchase, they would prefer to see it done by department or function. So a section, say, for the highway department, and then all of their highway department's functions, and then, say, planning commission and recreation board, et cetera, just to make it a little bit easier to find things. So we would like to get the select board's input on that. I said that's what the planning commission did state that they would prefer, but at the end, it's the select board's decision how you want that list organized. So you could think about that and let us know.
So you mean list of upcoming commitments?
Yes,
or
the 5-year plan.
Okay, so like when you're looking at these,
Yes.
you would organize them by departments? Okay,
Yes, that was the.
that was the
plan.
suggestion,
Yes.
okay.
And you, it looks like you have received the asset list and the draft capital improvement plan, okay? So we don't expect that in the 45 minutes or so you've had it before the meeting, that you've digested it and are ready to give feedback. But if you would, take a look at those, please. With the asset list, take a look and let us know if you notice that something is missing, or you wonder if something is missing. Get back to us through tour. Or if you see something that's listed on there and you say, well, wait a minute, we made a decision last October to sell that item or dispose of it, and it should no longer be on there. Let us know that too. And like I said, let Tour know, and he can let Ron and I know about the correction that is needed.
And what's the threshold to be on this list?
10,000, right, Ron, we did stay with,
Okay, that's what I thought.
I seem to remember 10,000 as well.
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
So I remember that was a question last time you
there
came
was-
to us. Okay. Why are the cemeteries in blue? Is there any particular reason? Just,
I think that there's more work needed
oh, okay,
on that.
okay.
And if there's anything in yellow, those are either just some numbers put in to help us, to hold the place.
I don't see any yellow, so that's good.
And some of the pages. yeah.
Oh, the pages, yeah,
Some
yeah,
of
yeah, I
the
thought you meant on the,
pages, yeah.
okay, perfect.
So in the list of documents, there is the rough draft of the plan and upcoming projects and purchases. And then, not just for 5 years, but a list. But if you would, decide if you're going to provide feedback to us individually, or if you will do it collectively as the select board and then get back to us to let us know what your priorities are. And you could somehow rank them by, saying high priority, medium priority, low priority, or you could say immediate need, short-term need, or long-term immediate need, not having to be like year one, it could be year one or year two. Or if there's a project that, because of other funding sources or other activities, that it's going to be in what is year 3 of the 5-year plan, you could still list that as immediate if you know that. But those are 2 suggestions. You could decide, you could rank them 1 through 5, with 1 being your highest priority projects and 5 being your lowest priority for the ones that are on that list. You decide how you want to do it. Just let us know how you would like to see them ranked so we have an idea of where to slot them in for years 1 through 5. And we did have one suggestion, also something else for you to think about and make a decision about in the upcoming months. I think you'll read in there that it's important to maintain this plan, and it's something that needs to be worked on ahead of your budgeting work. So probably in about August, this staff, or if you decide to go that route, should be working on this in earnest. But you need to decide what individual or what group is going to be responsible for updating this each year. And so we suggest you make that decision and make it part of the record so that the town, or when I say town, I mean the departments and the boards and commissions know that this is the person who's supposed to get this done. And so when that person comes around to the rec board or the planning commission or goes to see the police chief, that they know that they need to be working on this with that person or that group.
So can I just ask, so essentially each year you'd be looking at the projects and possibly reprioritizing, and would you be extending, like, you're starting with a 5-year or whatever you're starting with, and then how does that, what's the process for extending it out? Is it every year?
Yes.
So every year you're extending it out another year?
Adding on the new 5th year.
Okay, so that's what you're doing, you're not,
But you could be reorganizing,
okay.
yes.
If things change,
My
the
experience,
priorities
and
change.
probably Ron has experienced it too, that there is reorganization that happens sometimes.
Okay, so it'd be a
Because
combination of those things.
Because of funding or because of need, you need to reorganize.
Okay.
And one change already with this, with the fire department merger, we're gonna do the same process with the fire department and incorporate that into this plan as well.
You did submit the grant application, right?
Correct.
Yeah. You won't hear about that application decision until when, June?
Probably, yeah. So, because they were late this year with the solicitation, and they're gonna do the next round already in the fall, so I think we'll hear several weeks, we'll hear back on that.
This is great. I'm so glad that we did this.
The last item that we wanted to raise tonight was regarding the extension. Ron had emailed to her some time ago about the extension. We don't know if the board has considered that or not, but we would like to amend that request, as we met with the planning commission and reviewed the status of things and just thought more about what needs to be done to take the select board to the last night you have a meeting on this to adopt it. There's more work that needs to be done, to get done by the end of May. So we would amend our request for an extension to make it June 30th.
Okay.
Sounds reasonable.
Good to know.
That would still leave you in a good place, that would be the document ready to go for next fall when you start working on your budget. Your staff wouldn't have to be doing the update kind of stuff this coming summer.
Good.
So it'd be reasonable to expect a public hearing on this, the last meeting in June?
I have to review the process in the statute again. You might have that public hearing at your first meeting in June.
Okay.
So for you then to do the adoption, the last meeting.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So I'm already filling up those agendas already.
Jeez, sure. Okay.
Is Ron sending any messages?
Nothing on chat that
It
I,
doesn't look like he's throwing his hands up or anything over your presentation.
Cussing and swearing back there, huh?
We appreciate all the efforts you both, and all of the back and
Well,
forth
it's
that you
nice to
have to
have,
do to get to this
you know,
point.
this is an exciting,
Yeah,
It's huge.
nice to
science
have,
needed.
yeah.
It's very huge.
And it's
Very
nice to have too,
appreciated.
you know, your experience to help us with this, so I greatly appreciate that.
So is any action to be on this right now?
No, there's no
No.
action right now.
Just reviewing everything and
Just
And mulling everything over and
checking the asset
Yeah,
list.
and consider that the format of the 5-year plan for the purchases and the projects, and let us know about that. And then also, as you review things, you said just let Tour know, and then if we don't hear from Tour middle of May or a little later in May, we'll get in touch with him to find out if there's any input.
that's great.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
Here, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Ron.
Kudos.
Gateway Avenue, MOU.
So I sent a draft out with the packet, oh, no, actually, I think it was before the packet, and just before the meeting, I received Steve's comments on this. He's got a couple in there, I know you haven't had a chance to look at them yet. The Malls attorney has not had a chance to look at these yet, so it's not in a position to approve tonight. But the RFP will be
Sorry, I just saw the changes.
delayed until this is approved by both parties.
Yep.
Steve characterized his changes as clarifications rather than any,
Yeah.
substantive changes to it.
I
So
thought it looked good.
look at your leisure.
I'm excited about that. I cannot wait to see that redone.
So moving on to parent property.
Wendy's also online, but won't be able to speak. As part of the, well, I guess first of all, the closing on the parent property is set for May 14th at 1 p.m. at the Land Trust Office in Montpelier. Before that is completed, we are required to have a interim management plan, and then after that, there will be a permanent management plan. So Conservation Commission, in conjunction with the Land Trust and Housing and Conservation Board, have come up with this draft interim management plan. and are looking for its approval tonight.
And this is gonna be short-term, and it's gonna be anticipated, it's gonna be going into the Irish Hill Recreation Management Plan at a later date.
Correct.
I'll move to approve the interim, the parent parcel interim management plan.
And I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All in favor and accepting? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And then the other issue is, who do we want to authorize to sign the documents at the time of closing? I would recommend the select board chair myself.
Oh, hang them out to dry.
Of course.
Is there a second?
I second that.
That was easy.
Any discussion? Seeing.
I guess before that, would you be able to make that date?
Oh, the first?
The 14th.
14th of May.
At 1 PM in Montpelier, which is a Wednesday.
He has an appointment.
Okay.
Yeah, his, can't make it.
Tough.
Without even looking, no.
Sugar and spice, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you, Wendy.
Thanks, Wendy. I guess you have to sign this too, Wendy, the management plan. I'll have it at my office whenever you can come in.
Okay, class 4, we're gonna cancel that one. Impact fees.
So in the past, we've talked about impact fees. And I think it's worthwhile having the planning commission take a deep dive into it. Anticipation of a possible, recommendation for possible townwide vote on this. So I would recommend, motion, whatever I'm trying to say, that we refer this to the planning commission to have a proposal to us by the end of December.
I think that's a good idea.
I
I'll
do
second.
too.
And then would bring this to town meeting.
Correct, in anticipation of townwide
Yep.
meeting vote. Oh, Wendy's in, okay.
Yeah, it's funny,
Cool.
I know we have a motion, but I did start looking at impact fees a while back, and, because I remember when Tom proposed a recreation fee, I thought that was crazy, but South Burlington has a recreation fee. They have a nice like layout of the fees, and
Yeah,
and
and I
so
think-
that's a good place to look
I think
for.
Burlington, they have an online form, you type it in and it'll break it down how much goes to fire and
Yeah,
police and
yeah.
this and
Exactly.
that and everything. So I don't know that we need to be that fancy, but
Yeah, but,
But
I
even
think there's
still,
options to
Some
look
options
at.
out there, yeah.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, good.
very great.
Okay,
vote.
so, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Police K-9 officer selection, panel appointments.
So last summer, Officer Watsberg and the chief came for us with a K-9, I don't say proposal, but information. We put into our budget this year. The chief has solicited for interested officers, and 2 have expressed interest in it, and so he would like 2 select board members to interview the 2 applicants to make a recommendation.
Oh, so we have 2 police officers that want to,
2
wanna
Berlin
be,
police
correct.
officers that want this, that are interested in it.
When do the interviews need to be done by?
Chief's looking pretty quick.
Pretty
in
quick.
the next week or 2.
I'll do one. I'll volunteer to do one.
I'll do it. We have to do them both, don't we have to do them both together?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I feel bad because of the person that put all that effort into,
Yeah.
but I'll be impartial.
That's it. That's it. You gotta be impartial. That's it.
So I'll make that
Is
motion.
there any other interest?
No.
How about that?
I think there's two very great candidates
Yes.
to do it.
Okay.
So I
So,
made that motion. And Carlos seconded it.
and all in favor?
Oh, yeah. No, nobody seconded it.
I can second it. There you go.
Okay.
Tor made the
Thank you.
motion, I seconded.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Vince and Carla.
Definitely. It's wonderful.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sort of.
Or you can take May 14th off.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do the interviews on May 14th.
There you go. I like that idea. That's not soon enough.
So
is it?
Frontline Worker Appreciation Month, resolution.
So this is something that Joe found. Don't look at me that way. You sent it to me.
Oh, okay, maybe I did. It's a weak moment.
The issue I have, I guess, is that May is historic or traditionally been law enforcement recognition month. So, and so I included both resolutions, the draft of the front line and draft of the police week.
So is there,
I guess we could do both, or I think we should do at least one.
is there a national week for frontline workers or no? A national month? Because
This is the first I've heard of a
Is
frontline
it-
worker.
well, let's see, go to Google, Google is your friend.
Oh, this is left over from an email, something was sent to me.
Right,
That's okay, that's how you got it. I was just
that you
wondering.
sent to me.
I did.
You
Okay.
said to send us legit. I think that was your exact words, legit.
Employee appreciation. Frontline worker appreciation month.
And the answer is?
Well, this is an organization that's working with cities and towns to try to, working with cities and frontline organizations to recognize and celebrate,
Pick a month.
Okay.
so there isn't a designated national month or day. Oh, but it does say, that's why this May, we're making it loud and clear, we see you, we appreciate you, we've got your back, so it is May.
It does look
Now,
like
is
the,
it, sorry.
that's okay. I was just gonna say, it looks like the National Police is National Police Week. Maybe we could incorporate the two to acknowledge them in the same month. Just a thought. Or we could do Frontline Worker Appreciation Week within the same month. It's just a thought. Well,
So-
what were you gonna say, Tor, too?
So that came from an email that was sent to me, and like I said, I don't remember like looking it up, finding it, and
It
sending
was
it.
probably from these guys. Frontline worker.
That's what it
Yeah.
sounds like,
Yeah.
based on what Carla just indicated. I'm up for suggestion.
Well, here's the thing. Not that I'm not in favor of it, but if we're
Right.
just gonna do this and nothing else, it's not gonna mean anything.
Right.
So we'd either have to have an event or, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think, I think it doesn't speak very well if we make a resolution, but then we don't do anything.
Yeah.
So are we prepared to do that this year? Do we have enough time to plan?
I think it's too soon to do it this year, you know, given the date that we're in April, and May's just around the corner. I think it's wonderful, I just think it comes on the cusp of too soon for this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just would wanna see us actually make an effort to have some sort of, you know, event or fundraiser or, you know, something.
An
A
event.
thank you, you know, that we could invite people to, and people could share their appreciation for all the hard work that you guys do.
Just to clarify one thing though, this also includes law enforcement officers.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It's inclusive.
Yes.
Which
And that's,
they've already got a national week here as well for that. So, yeah, I agree
I think
with
the front
Carl. I
runner
think
kind
it's,
of mooching into territory. Should have picked a different month, if you ask me.
But yeah, that's my thought, is that we, well, someone has to take the torch, but to maybe think about planning something for next year.
I think
would
law
agree with
enforcement
that.
does a torch run on that week. I'm good with passing on it.
yeah.
I mean, cause this even goes into teachers and, so,
Yeah.
yeah, we'd wanna think about how we could actually make that mean anything, or
Have
if we
some
can make that mean
substance.
anything, yeah.
Okay. RK Miles, right away permit?
did we pass on both? We didn't finish
I thought we
I think
passed.
passed on both.
both?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. I missed that part, sorry.
The last meeting, we had the right-of-way curb cut permit from RK Miles. Include the drawing in your packet. We decided on the riprap ditch lining on the orange section. The DRB came back with concerns about if we wanted riprap in the green section. I don't know if you can see, you know, which is
Have you seen
closer
it,
to
Tim?
the.
So I was at the DRB meeting, and I think my takeaway from that was that this was the section that that Bob was always talking about, and this was just mistakenly, it was a miscommunication as to where it was supposed to be. I don't know that he even thinks it's necessary here, but we can put whatever on the map, but I think this was where he was originally concerned about, was down by the corner of Granger and, right, Tim? Granger and Industrial Ave.
That's where he was concerned about. I believe the green section's going to have some sort of
Well, the-
smaller stone in it because that's the spillway. So if the pond, if they were ever to get more than a 10-year rain event, I mean, the whole system is designed on a 3 to 3.5 inch rainstorm. Any more than that, the pond's gonna overflow.
So,
At
but
that
the-
point, that culvert down on Industrial isn't gonna take a
Yeah.
10-year
And
rain event.
is it your understanding that it is needed here because of the runoff here, or, I thought Bob said he didn't, but I could be wrong. Do you think it's needed up by the new drive behind the, right here? So this is the, you know, this is the new buildings and this has got the bank, and the water is gonna end up coming off this property and running down here. But I don't, think Bob
I
was worried
was
about.
looking at it differently. No, this is nothing here. This is just gonna be grass. It's all gonna be grassed in. It's almost flat, so there's
Yeah.
no.
So this doesn't.
This is what
This is where he
the
needs
green is where he was talking about, because they're pulling, I mean, there's an existing driveway right
Yeah,
here
they're gonna
right
pull
now.
that
They're
out.
pulling that out, and
But the runoff's still gonna come down.
Yeah, you mean-
Some of it's still coming that way. So I think this, this I don't think,
no,
but,
no, the yellow, no, the green, yes.
Okay.
and basically
I thought it was the
the-
other way.
the discussion was
Well,
that.
on the latest drawings, they have yellow as riprap.
Yeah,
Yeah, type 1 stone.
It's almost flat, but.
I mean, we don't need to eliminate it, but we just need to add it here. At least, where the green is. And I know we discussed in the meeting, just saying that the condition, the language would basically say that they would install riprap as directed by the select board. So,
So we need a motion to amend the permit based on this
Yes.
drawing for the green, right?
yeah,
So I make a motion that we amend the RK Miles permit as indicated on the drawing, based on the DRB's recommendation.
I second the motion on the RK Miles right-of-way permit amendment.
Any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so ordinance drafts, alarm ordinance and emergency service reimbursement ordinance.
So we're just gonna be talking about the alarm ordinance tonight, and just before the meeting, Joe sent out his draft. I printed it out, I've not really had a chance to look at it yet. I'm assuming this is based on our ordinance?
this is based on this is the Woodstock one.
Yes, so this is the
Okay,
ordinance.
But it was
because I,
very similar.
well, our ordinance contains a lot of the items from the Woodstock.
Yes,
ordinance.
they were very,
Correct.
yeah.
Now,
The only thing I'd say about that ordinance is it gets very convoluted on the.
Payment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought so too.
Yeah, it
You know,
does.
and it should be just, I shouldn't say a one fee fits all, but it's just, there's all sorts of ifs, ands, and buts in there.
Maybe we,
And Woodstock's penalty amounts were much higher
they were
than
higher.
ours.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
of course, ours were based on 10 years ago. I'm not saying they can't be increased, but I know we want to increase them to the level of Woodstock's level. But I'm okay with keeping them the same as they are.
I mean, wouldn't it be
now.
okay to just have a penalty for alarm systems and then failure to register is a penalty? As opposed to responding, as opposed to the penalties being different for
Right,
registered or
exactly.
non-registered? So maybe just eliminate the two split fees and make this just a penalty for, alarm systems. And then because there's already a penalty for failure to register an alarm system. So you would just add that on if they had an alarm, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think even just the whole layout can be
Yeah, but
simplified
just
a lot
having
more,
one,
more
yeah.
as a table,
Yeah.
false alarm,
Yeah,
X amount,
and then failure to
unregistered X
register.
amount,
Yeah.
Whatever.
I don't think there needs to be a different fee for an unregistered false alarm versus a registered false alarm.
Right.
That's a
And
little,
so the original ordinance had an annual registration fee. Now, you really want to track that.
Which I don't know, and I don't know that we've ever implemented that. I don't, is that what
No.
Woodstock has?
yeah.
That's what Woodstock
I
had.
don't know that we want to go in that
And so
direction myself,
I wouldn't want to be that one to track those. We can't even track dog licenses.
But we want them to register,
We want them to register.
them? And a
so-
one-time fee, maybe.
maybe that's the case.
Do we
Maybe
even
it's
need
that
a-
one-time
Do we
fee.
even need a fee, or, I mean, it's,
Yeah,
I mean, you're,
that's-
I mean, you know, approaching you from the fire department and you from the DRB,
Yeah, I mean, that can always be changed down the road if we see a need.
I mean, I'm not big on the fees. What I like about the registration, at least that first initial, you get a lot of information that's really good. And the annual registration at no cost gives you an updated information on contact information, as well as the maintenance and alarm testing. That we're forcing their hand to do some maintenance,
Yeah.
to have these systems to be operating like they should.
So you do think they should register annually, but they shouldn't pay a fee?
Right.
Okay, no, that makes sense.
And so the takeaway there, I would say that annual is we're forcing them to do some maintenance and provide
Yeah.
some information.
Yep, no, I think that's good.
You know, so
Well,
at 2
plus-
o'clock in the
well,
morning.
plus then you would never know if someone's, I don't know why someone would have an alarm and then not have an alarm, but you know what I mean, like if it goes away. Anyway, this provides the opportunity to update the information. Like you said, contact information's got to change, and you know that's something that they probably forget to.
Yeah.
Good. Well, and it sounded like Matt might have some input, was that what he was talking about?
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna go back through this
Yeah.
again. We talked some this
Okay.
afternoon. And then we talked about the emergency service reimbursement ordinance. And we thought at one time maybe we'd blend them and then not.
Right.
You know, I think it's just, we shouldn't be in a hurry.
correct.
How about that?
Okay, good.
So the personnel policy,
Wow, we're whipping through this again.
So
I thought we were gonna be here till 9:30.
We're not done yet.
wait till we
I
get to
know.
executive session. So included in your packet, Shelburne's personnel policy starts at about 2/3 of the way down. Section 6.17, use of town computer systems. This is an item that, you know, almost all the other personnel policies has, and for the most part, they're very similar to this. But our personnel policy is silent on this, does not include anything on computer security and use. It's where a lot of, you know, people in towns are getting in trouble over.
I think this is good.
well, the occasional brief and appropriate personal use. The occasional, what's that? Brief? That's a judgment call, right? I don't know. I mean,
It's vaguely specific.
exactly. I'm wondering, are we in a position here? Of course, we have IT support. Can you block things, websites and such that they can only do, I don't know, town business?
I guess what would be the definition of town business? You know, I had to go searching for a gravestone for somebody for a tax sale. I mean,
Right, you might have to Google weird things or.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be difficult
I mean,
to go to
I
that
admit-
level because
Friday, I ordered flowers for somebody off of the town website. So that was, in my mind, occasional brief.
yeah,
And she got them, but
I think it would be difficult to go to that detail, right? Sometimes vaguely specific can work.
you know,
I mean, at least there's something in place that if somebody's really abusing it,
Right.
there's language that allows for that.
To be
You know what I
addressed.
mean?
So,
You need some language to address it. I mean, if you're spending, you know, if you come in 10 minutes early and you're spending 10 minutes ordering flowers for somebody, right? Or
looking
you
at the
know,
news.
or you're spending 2 hours, you know, in the middle of the day, you know, just searching the web. That's different, right? And I believe we'd have to check with, it's still RB technology, right? I mean, I believe they have the ability to track by computer system
Oh, I'm sure there's
the,
history. Yeah.
you know, the online time and the sites that are visited as well. I believe they have that capability to track that. So if you wanted to go back and look it up.
Why would we have to request it? It's not like we get those reports, right? You'd have to request it.
You'd have to request them.
Okay. Have we ever requested them?
I don't think so.
I don't know, I'm just trying to gauge what an occasional brief and appropriate personal use would be. I'm just saying.
I mean,
I
I
did
think,
at my old job.
Yeah, but you probably had a reason, right? You need a reason. I mean, right now,
a lot
Do
of
we have
people
a
use their
reason?
phones now for personal stuff, let's face
Right.
it. If you're gonna go, if you're gonna do something personal, you got your phone. I can't imagine that it's a huge problem, but also I can imagine somebody, I don't know, some need to look at their bank account for some reason, and they get online and look at their bank account because the bank, whatever, just something that they need to do quickly, and
I have no problem with that.
yeah, so I think that
But I don't want somebody.
it's the hours watching a
on their
movie or something.
hours, yeah, watching movies or
Yeah.
spending hours day trading when they should be doing something else.
No, exactly.
So I know there's a lot here, and some of it, there does need to be some editorial type change, updates for
oh boy.
Berlin specific versus, Shelburne's. But,
This just raised a big question for me. Do we have record retention policies?
not to the degree we need to.
Ugh.
And where are you looking
We
at?
work at that at work and it's awful. Because basically, as you know, for the state, it's public unless it's deemed not. So I'm assuming it's the same for the town. Everything's
Correct.
public unless there's a statutory exception. Which means that if you have no policy that just tells you when you can get rid of it, you can't get rid of it.
Correct.
So it's
That's
kind
true.
of.
That's a good point.
So if there's a schedule and you find a schedule, it's fine. You delete things after, and the Secretary of State's offices now, they change their mind frequently about how record retention policies should work, but their current thinking is that you look at your business processes, decide how long you need to keep the records associated with those business processes, and then you create a schedule that tells you when they get destroyed.
Yep.
And it's a process. Anyway, I just saw the word record retention and had flashbacks. But I do like this, I think it's good.
So we're just gonna review this and,
Take a look at it and have thoughts to me for the next meeting, I think.
Okay.
I assume the police officers use them in their cars? Yes?
Correct.
Yeah.
moving on to approval of warrants and minutes.
Do you have the?
Oh,
script?
sorry.
Script is right there.
There you go, Flo.
I know, this is funny.
It's Flo's
We'll do
job.
it. I don't think it's my job, but I don't mind. I
always
know,
thought
it's
it-
really
I
funny.
always thought it was.
Payroll warrant 25-21. I make the motion for payroll warrant 25-21 for payroll from April 6, 2025 to April 19, 2025, to be paid on April 23, 2025 in the amount of $65,361.04. Also payable warrant 25G20 with check number 24886 to 24917 in the amount of $62,785.54, and general journal entries for March.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Your minutes of April 7th meeting?
I sent these out in your packet. I did make some changes to the top section, the attendees from what was sent out, added some names and stuff. But other than that, I don't have any other changes at this time.
I'll make a motion to approve Monday, April 7th, 2024 minutes of meeting as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Roundtable. Flo?
Nothing from me, thank you very much, Chair.
Vince?
I'm good for now. Thank you.
Carla?
So couple things. One thing, I'm planning to start coming to the town offices on Fridays for, I don't know, an hour or so, maybe even two, and just kind of hang out and talk to people and and put out something on Front Porch Forum that if people have anything they want to discuss, they can either come see me or they can call me, but that's one thing. And then the other thing, I have heard about someone who's expressing interest in the town administrator position, and I am not sure what's happening because last I recall we were going to repost it and potentially, obviously we
Yep.
may have
Still open,
some
yeah.
candidates.
Yep.
So I didn't know whether to tell the person to submit a resume or just exactly what we were doing because I didn't see it posted on even the VLCT website. And I will say, and I know you didn't like the Indeed thing, but I had to post a job at work and found out that they weren't posting it on Indeed. They were just going in and looking for people, which, you know, is not something that's not desirable, but they finally posted it and it was only $500 to post it for a month. Now, I don't know if the state has a contract, but I thought that was a reasonable amount of money if we chose to want to post it on some sort of online. And I didn't get a lot of junk applications either. I didn't get a lot of applications, period, but I didn't get a lot of junk. But this person that's expressed interest used to work for the state in ACCD and apparently moved on to USDA and now may not have job security. I think still employed, but potentially not. So that was the person. So I thought I wanted to talk about it first, but I thought I'd just say, go ahead and submit a resume.
Right.
Can't hurt. So, okay.
Yep.
Do we have resumes already? And if so, how many have applied? And is it open until filled?
Open till filled,
Open
yeah.
until filled.
I just don't think anybody knows that because it's not currently even listed on VLCT's site. So,
Yeah, no, I'd encourage them to submit resumes.
and maybe we should tell them to at least, because that was the first place I looked when I heard about this, just because I wasn't sure if it was there, you know, had been there since whenever we put it up last time, and I didn't see it. I did see a couple town administrator positions, but I didn't see Berlin, so I don't know if maybe we want to get it put back up on there, but I don't know if we need to,
That's one of the things I don't like about the league's website. You can't go back and look at past postings.
yeah. And do they charge you, or is it just?
There's no charge.
Oh,
Yeah.
And there's a time limit at which it runs, sounds like.
Generally, it's 30 days.
30 days. So if we're gonna run this, we're gonna post it until filled, then every 30 days, we gotta like repost. Okay.
do we wanna do that?
I think we wanna do that.
And back to Carla's point about coming in and having meetings on Fridays and et cetera, at one point, we talked about having Carol come in and maybe some other staff to discuss how things are going right now. Because some of
Yeah.
us have been approached and some of us have come in and talked with staff. And I know the
Carol's
last time I came
100%
in.
flat out on the audit right now, so
So
after
small.
we get some
Mhm.
clarity on that, then I'd like to have her and Diane come
Mhm.
in, but.
There
Okay.
may be more than just Carla and I, but we've both been approached and we've both come in and met with staff. And I just think at some point we need to go forward and do that because the staff have heard us indicate that we've requested it and that we will, and yet we haven't. But it makes sense if
Yeah,
she's swamped,
yeah.
you know, just when we can, a future date.
I'm doing it mainly to help me, I mean, first of all, yes, I think it's a good opportunity if people have things they wanna share, but like, just to see, just to learn more about the, you know, how things work. And, you know, I'll hear things happening and I'll be like,
Right.
oh, I didn't know that, you
And
know.
that was the same token, that's what I was
Yeah.
doing as well, and
Yeah.
they indicated to me that you were planning
Yeah.
to do that, so.
I told them I was bribing them with baked
Step back.
goods, so.
I stepped back when I knew that you planned to do that,
Oh, well, you,
so
well,
it's
you-
no worries.
You should come too.
It's no worries
I'm just gonna bring my
whatsoever.
laptop and if nobody's here, I'll just do work.
It's all good.
Yeah, but anyway, just wanted to share that.
That's great.
Nice. Tour?
Couple things. Tom and I will be in environmental court Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week on the Hire Mobile Home case. Hopefully it doesn't take all 3 days, but you never know. And then, you know, we had the site visit for the RFP for the Newtown Garage last week, and we had 15 attendees from a engineering design company, so that was
Good turn.
Oh,
good
wow,
seeing.
that's a very
There's
good turnout.
There's a bunch of questions I submitted follow-up with, but.
Good.
Nice.
And then Tom had the ice rink site visit this morning.
Good.
Nice. Anything else?
Oh, something for eating.
Were you guys gonna discuss that ordinance for the road protection policy?
No.
Is that what you're waiting for?
Well, it was, that's what I thought it was in
No,
there, so I didn't wanna take it.
what we're doing at this
So that's
point
fine.
is, and Tim's found a lot of issues, especially in the past couple of weeks. What we've been doing is giving them 6 hours thereabouts to get the road cleaned up. Otherwise, we'll have the police issue a ticket.
This is another road?
Oh, they're
All over.
everyone, all of them.
All over.
All of them now?
They're mainly just taking power brooms and whatever comes out in the road comes out in the road. And tractors with power brooms,
Nice.
hand power brooms, sticks, twigs.
How do other towns deal with this?
They don't. It's just, like we were discussing, like a little bit is more than tolerable, but when it's a complete mess and
Yeah.
it's mainly just grass,
That's,
it's the problem. Because what it is that grass balls up and you lay it out and there's a hunk of grass. And then the traffic pounds the grass out, you got a pothole. So all that vegetation and whatever sticks, it creates potholes when the traffic either pounds it out to nothing or, but But it's,
Sorry.
Do you feel that we're getting more of this now than
No.
in the past?
well, this spring it has been more than ever,
Okay.
but it happens every year. But it seems to be more.
Well, we've had a lot more plowing this year than we've had in the past years, haven't we? In the recent years, no?
Once it's froze, it's froze. and-
Yeah, but,
I think I'm going back to the material.
well, that's,
You know, you're using a material which is white and gray.
It's not. I mean, it's not even that. It's just the lawn clippings. Like we had one on last Sunday that I got a complaint about, and it was nothing but grass. They
Just grass put back in the road?
more than likely there was very little bit of stone. It was. I mean, they had a real shaggy lawn, and they power broomed it, and it was nothing but a windrow of grass right down the middle of the road. They took it 10 feet out to the center of the road. Like it wasn't even on the edge. I sent pictures of Tor.
I mean, would it be, so, I guess my question is it worth putting something out there about, if you're going to put material in the road, first of all, you can't put it in the middle of the road, you know, it has to be, I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to figure out what we could do to facilitate, like, I feel like people should get a warning first, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but maybe even some preemptive instructions, I don't know how to help this, but.
Yeah, there's gotta be some sort of information, because it's gonna continue. I mean, he's gonna continue to plow, and stones are gonna continue to go on people's lawns.
Right, I mean, you can't stop that part of it, I guess that's.
And then it's
the
right
point.
on to the. I mean, then it does right in the fall. Is people mow their lawn and mulch their leaves and blow them all out in the road because.
Well, that's the thing, I think we have to put something out there to notify
that's where
residents,
this is
you
a
can't
year-
put
this is a
vegetation in the
year-round.
road. You wanna put the dirt and the stones from the winter plowing back in the road, okay, but it, you know, it has to be within reason, right, and minimal vegetation. But yeah.
I mean, it's no different than the plowing the snow, or out from a private drive out into the
Out into
roadway.
the
We
road.
have that on the website.
Exactly. And that's,
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
yeah, no,
Well, maybe we need to add something
we need to
about-
clarify this the same way that was just
Yeah.
done a few years ago, right? I think it's, and then address it when it occurs.
Yeah, cause there's no way to stop this stuff from going on the lawns.
You're never gonna
when you're
stop
plowing.
it and eliminate it, no matter, right?
And people wouldn't want us not plowing.
And the better we get it not doing it, the more that's gonna get, it's just gonna continue to get addressed at a lower level than what it is now. I mean, until we clarify it, to your point, like plowing snow across the road or snow blowing your snow back into the road. That's been addressed now, people are starting to reduce doing it, somewhat. I mean, it's not eliminated yet, but we have to address it as it comes up.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with this one now. It's every year, it keeps
Yeah.
coming up now.
Did you have anything else, Tor?
No.
So I'm gonna toot the horn of the fire department. We have three members who actually just finished up their hazardous material operation awareness and technical decon course. That's really key for a couple reasons. Is we have a decon unit that we would move with the state hazmat team and provide them decontamination. Those courses are also required for the Fire 1 class, which is 237
Yeah.
some odd hours. And so you can eliminate nearly 40 some odd hours of that class. So it's getting them a step closer to taking that course. One of our members just finished up the Fire Officer 3 course, which was like a crazy class. And I think that was like 9 weeks.
Wow.
Another one just finished up their Fire Instructor 1 class, which was 7 weeks. And we currently this week have an individual doing the Swiftwater Rescue course down in Heartland.
Wow.
That is different than the water rescue, the surface water rescue course that we had 7 last year take. So they're active.
Now, those courses that the 9-week and the 7-week, is that something where you go somewhere?
You go somewhere.
Oh, wow, that's a big
So
commitment.
some of that, I'm sorry, some of that is a hybrid.
Okay,
So,
but you have to go do physical
yes,
test, kind of thing, and online probably stuff.
yeah,
Good.
so. Anyway,
Kudos.
kudos to all them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Do we have an executive session?
We do. This is gonna be a two-parter. I move to find that premature, actually, you can stick around for this, Tim. I move to find that premature general public knowledge would clearly place the town of Berlin at a substantial disadvantage regarding contracts.
Second?
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Opposed?
I move to enter into executive session regarding contracts under 1 VSA 313A1A, inviting the road superintendent, and no action is expected.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session.